This wasn't planned. This was just totally random. But I am having a day today and I need to talk about it. So, yeah, things are kind of wild right now emotionally. Check out this. Oh, probably gonna go before. See if I can find, oh, there he is. There's a squirrel up there. Well, it is so nice to see the wildlife out again. It really is. But yeah, so I'm probably going to be spending a lot more time talking about emotions and stuff in the next little bit, just because this stuff is getting to be quite difficult at times. I think I spent several hours crying last night, more so due to a video I was watching, and then again this morning because of a video I was watching. But there's just times right now where my emotions are just crazy and it's really hard to explain. I'm sorry, you can hear construction noises. There's nothing I can do about that. I wanted to be actually outside today because I'm just out in a short sleeve t-shirt. It feels so warm outside despite the fact that it is apparently only 7 degrees Celsius. That is how cold it's been. An interesting fact, actually, a lot of people ask me, like, when I start to feel a temperature is cold. And it depends on the time of year that you ask me. So in the springtime, if it's been cold for a while, like what it has been because it's been winter, generally anything above 0, you'll start to see me not with a jacket. Just because it's so nice. Like, it feels so nice. The sun is so nice shining down. But if you ask me in the fall, I'll tell you anything below 15 degrees Celsius is pretty cold. So it depends on what time of year you ask a Canadian on what they will actually tell you is cold. No matter what, though, we'll always tell you that, like, below minus 30 is cold. And actually, if I could live in a place where it didn't get below minus 15, minus 20, I'd probably tell you I'm living in a nice place with very little weather, because that's just the reality of the situation when you deal with something that is 6 months out of the year. So I might have mentioned this on something else, maybe not to you guys, but I know I've talked about this in like the last couple of weeks. But what's crazy to me is that we've had winter now since the weekend I got back from my meditation retreat. I came back and it was winter. That is how long we've had winter. That was at the start of November. Well, a few days into November, but yeah, it's been a while now. And today is kind of the first day that it's been actually quite nice. I'm just hoping that we don't have too quick of a melt. It's actually supposed to be like summer temperatures on Tuesday if the forecast holds up, and it actually just keeps on getting warmer. So we'll see about that. But yeah, it's been really difficult. Yeah, it's interesting. But I wanted to come on and talk about these emotions that I've been having with meditation. And I've been feeling a lot of actual energy lately too. So like, it's almost like it's like an energetic buildup. I don't know how to describe it. I like to stay away from this energy stuff because I am still skeptical about what I'm actually feeling and all of that. I know that it's real. It's just so strange. And also, side note, I know it's a Sunday, but when you get these things that come up, sometimes I just feel like it's a great time to do a live. The camera is my therapy, so, you know, if none of you want to watch this, that's fine. It's just something that I'm going through in a really deep way. It's been like this since my retreat, but it seems to only be getting stronger. So yeah, I also didn't share this anywhere, so like, if you're seeing this, it's probably because you got a notification about it. So like, don't feel bad if you missed the live. Like, normally I don't do lives on Sundays, but another reason why I can do a live today is because this is my 3rd day off in a row. So honestly, like, not only am I getting a little antsy to get back to making content, because I did take the last week off, a big reason for it was this just feeling of being overwhelmed, I think, and just not having the time to rest, which I got in the last few days. So that was really good. Yeah, so it's been a little bit difficult lately, that's for sure. And I can't really remember at one point the difficulty started, like when I really started to notice the extra energy and the extra emotions and all of that. But it's been a few weeks now, and like it'll come in waves, as if like breathing, but then it'll leave too. So it's not like constant or anything. It's just that sometimes are more difficult than others. It's kind of like what happens actually when you go through rough times with migraines and IIH as well. Like it comes in cycles, and when you're feeling really good, you're feeling quite good. But then when you're going through a really difficult time, emotionally, physically, health-wise, things just aren't going the way you hope they were, then it's really difficult. At times, there can be a little bit of both, but it really does feel at times like it's one extreme to another kind of thing. And that is really, really hard. And so, yeah, like I think it's affecting my body to a certain degree too. I've been feeling a lot more exhausted lately. Like when you're dealing with strong emotions, you're tired from the emotions coming out as it is. It's actually worse when you suppress them. But you feel that release in energy, I think, just as strongly as the actual emotions itself. So it's really, really exhausting. But then people don't realize that, like, it just because you're releasing the energy doesn't make it any easier to deal with. It just prevents that bottling up of the emotions, essentially. So yeah. Fortunately, there's not much to see in the yard right now unless you want to see snow, which I guess maybe some of you do, depending on where you are in the world. So the snow is probably 3 feet or so deep. Not quite, maybe. See if I can get... It's about that deep. And the reason why we actually have a lot of snow right now is just because it's been so cold, it hasn't been able to melt. So anywhere where the sun can hit, it's pavement or like bare ground. Just because at this time of year, so like over here, for example, driveway, the sun is, like this is towards the south here. So the sun is shining directly down. So there's no snow because the sun is so strong now. Like even, it was the weirdest thing at like, so last week it was like negative 25 still. And, which can happen. But it was so weird because it was sunny. And so like the steam, there was like steam coming off the pavement because the air is so cold, but the sun is so strong that it's actually melting. So it's a very strange thing to see, but it's kind of cool at the same time in more ways than one, if you want to get into the puns there. But yeah, so like anywhere that's either directly facing the sun, in the sun can reach, it's been melting. But anywhere else, because the air temperature has been so cold, still a lot of snow, which means if it gets warm really, really fast, it's probably going to start flooding because the snow won't be able to stick around with that. And actually, even like the last couple of days, it hasn't been terribly warm. Like it's been just above freezing, and we've actually had quite a bit of snow melt. So yeah, it's great. It'll be a little bit before the leaves start budding. Actually, they may be starting already. So I don't know if you can see it up here, but you might be able to see kind of like the buds on the leaves. I'm not sure if you can actually see that or not, but there are a few buds starting. So like the trees that are in front of me here will start first, and then some of the other trees will follow a few weeks after that. But yeah, it's such a nice day out, and because of how cold it's been, I haven't been able to get outside, so I've been a little desperate to be outside without freezing my face off. So yeah. I don't think I want to have this very long though. Like this was just kind of meant as a catch up and kind of a release for me. So I didn't mean for this video to get really, really long, but you start to get down some of this and you just vent out how you're feeling essentially and all of that. But you know, it's okay that things are not peace and bliss all the time. I have said that with my meditation practice. I've shared that with this journey with non-duality. I've shared it with the migraines and IIH, and I truly believe that it's a real part of it. So yeah, I mean, things are rough at times, but everything passes. And I know that a lot of us with chronic illnesses don't like to hear that in a way. I think I just had a squirrel jump over my head, which is great. But I think a lot of us don't like to hear that because it's kind of putting us down in the moment, and maybe a way of sometimes how people try to get through the uncomfortableness and awkwardness of the situation that they're seeing with us. Like, migraines have no cure. IIH is kind of in the middle depending on what path you're on with your condition. So like, if you've honestly tried weight loss and it hasn't helped, it's not curable. If you've kind of gone down the shunt road, like you're constantly dealing with the effects of having a shunt for the rest of your life. And so, like for me, it was the closest thing to a cure that you can get with the condition. And I still have the same symptoms though, because I have the same symptoms with migraines. So it hasn't really felt like a cure, even though it kind of has been. In a way, I don't like using the cure word because a cure means, in my opinion, that it can never come back again, which, in my opinion, that is true as long as I do my best to keep my weight where it is. Which I tell you is why I say the weight loss part of this is only the beginning of it. It's kind of like your initial shift with non-duality and spiritual awakening. That part of it is only the beginning of something even more deep. Like, it's only the start. And the real work comes after that initial part. And I wonder if I should actually do a video where I talk about this, or a podcast on this. I don't really do videos anymore because I like doing podcast things. I guess I could start, but it's just easier for me to go live and then have a video up and ready to go. But so I really do feel like maybe talking about the comparison of that is really, really important, because what people may only see with weight loss is that initial weight loss, and then that's it, and then they're only seeing you like whenever they see you, but they're not seeing the work that goes into that. And I feel like it's the same thing with my IIH journey. Like, to get to where I'm at took so much work, but it's work that becomes even more important now that I'm technically in a maintenance phase. I wouldn't say it's the exact same as spiritual awakening, because you do actually do more work, I think, after that initial shift. At least that's how it's been for me anyways. Like, this motion shadow work has been really, really hard. I would compare it actually with weight loss more than I would IIH or migraines, just because you're dealing with that really, really tough part of it, and it's coming after the part where you thought you'd be actually dealing with it. I don't know how to say that. So, yeah. But yeah. Anyways, just take a look at how perfect the sky is. Like, just this. This is just incredible. I wish I had a better view for you guys, but we're kind of closed in here, and I don't like to walk around too much just because I am a little bit viewable to everywhere else. So yeah, it's really, really good. I don't really have much else to say though. Like, I guess that thing about comparing spirituality and weight loss is just kind of came out of nowhere, actually, which happens a lot when it comes to how I find my content. Like, it comes out of nowhere and then I kind of release it. It's just like, yeah, I don't know where that's coming from. It's just in the moment, which I kind of feel like that just in everyday life now. So yeah, but it's finally warming up. Hopefully this is the start of a little bit nicer weather. because it's been a long winter. It really has been. It's been a long, hard winter this year. We've been spoiled, I think, over the last couple of years with how we've kind of been how cold it's been, and the amount of snow that we've had has been quite a bit lesser than average, which we need the moisture. I hardly ever complain about the snow because going through a drought, and we need the moisture for the farmers. Farming is a big part of the economy here. And so it's really important to have that moisture. It's the bitter cold. It's the really, really frigid temperatures that can get to you after a while. The nice thing is that generally the skies look like this when it's minus 30 outside. It's deceptively reassuring is how I like to word it. But, sorry, my button isn't working. However, so like we have such a large amount of sunny days usually when it's like that. But just having it be that cold and having to dress in so many layers, having to make that extra time to get to where you're going, it's just so hard. But yeah, so anyways, guys, I think that's where I'm going to leave it. I think things are probably going to start to become a lot more spontaneous over the next chapter in whatever's next for me. And to be honest with you guys, it's getting harder and harder to talk about the migraines and IIH. Like, I've been saying this for a while, but it feels like I get up completely in my head when I do those types of videos now. Like, I don't know. I think it's just because I have to get back into like the memory part of it. And so it's getting very, very difficult. Plus I'm like 5 years now out from this almost. At least from the IIH stuff. I'm 5 years out. This year will be 5 years since I graduated from university. I'm already at 5 years since I had my last day as a student in classes. So like, those first few months of when I was really confused and all of that is 5 years ago now. So it feels like all of this was just so long ago. And I don't want to say there's never going to be migraine and IIH content, because that's what the channel is, but like, I need suggestions on what you guys want to see. I need ideas on the parts that you're struggling with, so that I can give my own perspective on those particular things, because I'm not struggling as much as I used to, which is great, because it means everything that I'm doing is working. And it's continuing to work, which is great. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say with that. So like, leave your suggestions in the comments and I will try to do a video on them. If you guys want to see more of my personal life, let me know too. If you guys want to see more of this meditation stuff, you're probably not going to have much of a choice though on that. That's what I care about now. It's a huge part of where I'm heading, honestly. It's just a massive part of my life. I don't know how much I'm going to be sharing, because honestly, I really don't talk about this. I don't feel really ready to talk about it. Like, I'll say I'm struggling emotion-wise, just to say like things aren't peachy all of the time. But like, as far as giving advice, I'm not ready yet. So yeah, maybe what I should do is use this channel as a way to document how meditation affects my life with migraines. I can't really talk about how it would affect my life with IIH. I'm long past that at this point. But I really do feel like it has been a critical part of why I am where I am now. And so yeah, it's the only thing I wanted to mention. I think there's going to be a little bit of a directional change with the channel. I am also going to be increasing the short video content. I noticed that a lot of you are enjoying the community tab, which is great. So I will continue to share things like last week when I decided I wasn't going to do a live show. And this week I should be fine to do a live show. I don't think I'm going to be extra tired by doing a live show today. Like, this is kind of more of just a let's hang out, catch up, and just chill kind of thing. So it really doesn't feel like I'm videotaping, even though I am, or on live, or however you want to word it. But yeah, I mean, and if you're wanting to, make sure you just follow me on social media. I do have to admit though, I'm probably going to be, besides my video content, very absent from social media. I find I'm way happier when I'm not scrolling through social media all the time. I may actually start doing more on locals just because I feel like I can write articles. I feel like I can be a little bit more of myself on that platform. There's a little bit of a protection in the fact that bots aren't really a part of it. There's a feeling of safety that I do feel when I'm writing as compared to doing video content. I actually tend to sway between the two depending on what it's about. So there may be some things such as articles that get posted for supporters, so make sure you guys are following me on locals for that. It's free to join, but to get the supporter content and comment and like and all of that, I do believe you have to become a member. I don't think liking that you have to become a member, but maybe, I don't know, because everything that I interact with, I'm a member on there, so I really haven't seen it from the other side. So yeah, anyways, I'm 20 minutes into this video, so I think I will leave it there. But yeah, if you guys have video suggestions, something you want to see from me, please let me know. And I'm gonna warn you guys that I think there's gonna be a little bit of a change in the direction to the content moving forward, because I gotta do what feels the best to me in the moment now. There's no other way to do it. Anything else is gonna feel inauthentic and too scripted. So that's where I want to go with that. But anyways, I thank you guys for joining me. I don't know, I can't really see the comments or anything on here because I'm like directly in the sun. So if any of you have, there's been anybody that's joined or commented, I can't read it. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to come on here and just really talk about how I'm feeling with you all. So yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. Hope to see you guys on Wednesday for the actual live show, if it happens. Bye, everyone.